Kenny, so how much of the practice today was just getting everybody back after 3 days, or did you go straight into scrimmaging?
No, so yesterday was more get our feet on. We did a lot of individual work, a few breakdowns. Today was actually longer, and we did a lot of teaching and just kind of refocusing on our playoff intentions. And tomorrow will be more just group scrimmage, more intra-squad stuff, get their referees and all that. So, yeah.
Coach, is there anybody that did not participate in the full go today? Or any time this week?
Everybody healthy.
How's Donovan looking?
Really good. Did we did some live stuff today. He was full go. No restrictions, no take him out of pride, none of that.
What kind of relief is that? I mean, you anticipated this when he even had the injury, but to actually know he's fine.
I mean, yeah, just for Donovan and really for our whole team, right? That was the most important thing. Getting ready for these playoffs is go into it healthy. Really proud of the plan we had, how we manage guys, how they manage themselves, our performance team, our medical team. Right? It's such a group effort. There's a lot of planning that goes into it. Now I feel really relieved. It's probably more of a relief, right? Like, man, we kind of did it. So I think the guys are in a good place. Ready to go.
What do you enjoy the most about playoff basketball?
What do I enjoy most about playoff basketball? We know the game changes, right? So I like that. Even watching the game last night, it's like who's going to be the more aggressive team? What tactics are they going to throw out? Our series will be the same. Every series, you can get more in depth in terms of analyzing of something and more detailed, and that's better for coaches. Like that's what we thrive on, right? Like how can we make this little adjustment? Who's prepared their players, better? Who's gotten their team to understand the mentality you need to win in playoff basketball? But I thoroughly enjoyed those playing games last night, just diving deep into what each team was doing.
Kenny, I know you like to look ahead and visualize kind of the matchups and things, but if I could ask you a question just to reflect quickly. You start off 15-0, hot start, and then fast forward, you clinch the 1 seed. What has surprised you the most about this group?
I guess their maturity, right? Like, so to get the first seed, go through an 82-game season, come out to a hot start, like you said, not like have a huge dip. We had a little dip post All-Star, but there's a maturity and a professionalism to that, and I would just say, even the quote-unquote easy games or games we're supposed to win, like we were ready, and that's not been my experience in the NBA, even with good teams, right? Like you just have these games where you're just like, man, we weren't ready for that, or we only had a handful of those games where I said, man, we were not mentally prepared for the game. So I always felt comfortable with this team coming in. You don't need a big speech. You don't need to, hey, we need to be ready. There was none of that. They were already ready. So yeah, I'd just say the maturity of the team and leadership goes into that, right? Like Donovan and Evan and DG and JA, making sure the guys are ready.
How about the city of Cleveland in general? What has surprised you, or what have you appreciated the most about making it your home over the last year? Fans and people.
I tell people all the time, and I don't say this to blow smoke or appease people, it's an underrated city in every sense, not just sporting sense, quality of life sense. The schools are great, as we know, but I didn't know. I just kind of knew when I visited. I knew, going to Rocket Mortgage and what a tough place it was to play, and then I knew the Ritz downtown. That was it. That was the extent of what I knew. Now I'm in Chagrin Falls, and I'm on the west side, and I'm just, there's so much more, right, than just those couple of blocks around the rim. So getting to knowing the city, know the people, and it's a great sports town, as we know.
Kenny, how when Coach has a big year, push your coach, take over, win all these games, when it comes to playoffs, where are your
pretty even keeled right now, and I know we're still a few days out from the game, so maybe on game day it's a little different. But one thing I'm trying to do is check myself and not get too hyped, right? Like making sure we're kind of doubling down on who we are and not changing my messaging, like really, because I think the guys, they recognize that if you all of a sudden you become playoff Kenny instead of Kenny. Right, so I have to stay authentic to who I am, authentic to what we've been doing all year, doubling down on that. So I'm in a good space. I think at this point in my life, my career, I know myself better than ever. So
playoff Kenny and
I've overdone it. I've overdone it. I've overcoached it. So I've kind of lived with those mistakes, and you learn from them. I've done it in big games in the regular season too, right? Like all of a sudden guys, it's more about them, right? It's about how they react, and guys don't like that when all of a sudden you flip the script too much, or instead of doing a 45-minute shoot around, it's an hour and 20. So we're trying to really be intentional about staying on point to who we are and who we've been. I'll just add the caveat as to we also have to be ready to give them adjustments when it's necessary, right? Like we are ready for that, because that it will change. But going into game one, it's kind of like stick with the script.
When you say you want more force and aggression out of Evan, what does that look like from him?
It's not, all of a sudden go run a guy over on a screen. To me, it's more just a more aggressive mentality in terms of scoring, in terms of handling the ball, in terms of making plays. In the purest sense of more force and aggression is rebounding. He should be a better rebounder. He just should, with all the talent he has, all the IQ he has, his ability to read the ball off the rim. So that, those are improvement areas. And then I'd say the last part with him is be more vocal. Like you are the leader. You are one of the leaders. You're the leader of our defense. You and JA, we need more. We need more to see there. It's gotten better, no doubt about it, but he still has a ways to go.
You mentioned that it was like a neutral approach, is what you said. That sometimes that's what separates him from the greats, is that every now and then it's like a sporadic. He has a neutral approach.
Yeah.
When that happens, why do you think it happens?
I don't know. I think you're playing around other great players. They're older, like like Donovan's, has more experience. DG is just a natural takeover type guy. So sometimes he just defers to those guys, and sometimes he's right to do that. But there's sometimes where like, no, we need you to, kind of take the man, take the torch and push forward. I think he's improved that, but I still think he's got a little bit to go to get where we want him to be in terms of his force and aggression and mentality in that sense.
Donovan was on a surprise #1 seed 4 years ago with Utah.
Yeah.
How much with his leadership has he kind of relayed those messages to the team that, these chances are fleeting and you got to take advantage when you get them?
Yeah, big time. He's referenced that before, and quite honestly, he knows he didn't get over the hump, right? Like first seed, I was on the Clippers team that part of that staff that took them out. And there's big time disappointment, right, from him, and so the fact that he's been through these experiences, being the #1 seed, it's huge. I feel more comfortable, right? This he's been through it. It's happened to him before. He knows what a series looks like. He knows when the tactics change. So I think because he has that experience, he's going to be more aggressive in terms of communicating with me and with his teammates. And I think he's already started doing that.
You guys have talked from the moment you got here about the importance of chemistry, camaraderie. You've worked on that since before you guys were even able to work in this building. How important is that going to be now that the playoffs are right here? How much does that really truly play into this?
I love the Darius Garland quote. Like the first time I met him, I said, "Tell me about this group," and he said, "Man, we vibe. We vibe. And it's so that was like it." And you're like, but now I see what he's meaning. They get where that helps, because there's going to be games where someone doesn't finish the game. It normally finishes. Someone that normally starts doesn't start. So now when you start getting those shifts and roles and playoff minutes and all that, I think the tighter the group is, the more they vibe, the more they communicate. And we'll be able to, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect and everybody's going to be happy and none of that phony stuff. I think it's going to be more, we can talk about this, we can communicate. And the last one, I think I vibe with them, right? Like we have that open communication. They feel like they can come to me with anything. I feel like I can come to them with anything. So that helps you through the tough moments.
Kenny, Mark Carroll is someone that you coached multiple teams and now you're coaching with him. How have you seen him grown as a player to now a coach, and what has he brought to this team, especially a person who's made long runs, within the NBA playoffs?
Yeah, we got him involved today. We were in a coaches meeting. We were talking about, kind of what I was talking about. Should we change our messaging, right? And now the playoffs are coming. Should our message change a little? Should we be a little more intense? Whatever. And I said, DeMar, you've been through. I turned to him. I said, give me your feedback. Give me your feedback. You've been in this. You've been in 7-game series. You've been in conference final. Like what does that look like? He goes, and his answer was, no, let's double down on who we are. Double down on our identity. So, and not saying I don't listen to the other coaches, but his voice helps me a lot. He's fresh off being a player. He's got a good connection with these guys. So I lean on him a lot. And, he's been a fantastic addition to the staff.
Kenny, what do you need from Darius throughout the course of this playoff run to be the team that ultimately you guys believe that you are?
Yeah. Don't change. Like, kind of be the guy you've been all year. That's, if I was to ask something more of him, and I had this conversation with him. I'm like, you almost have to speed up your maturity level, leadership level. You're 25, and I need you to be 28. I said, can we speed that up? And that's hard. I said, because our window's kind of now, and like we even need more leadership from you, more, whatever it is, your habits, your on-court demeanor, your relationship with the referees, right? And as coach, I'm 25. Like can we just advance this along a little? Because I think Donovan's in that kind of perfect space, and a lot of that has to do with age. But that would be it with DG. Like speed it up a little, and he's capable. But sometimes I think he still thinks he's a young. Hey, I'm the young draft pick, kind of hot shot. Like, no. You are a big part of this leadership group, and we need you. We need you to get there quickly, where you're that kind of leadership beacon.
And last one. You talked about how important empowerment has been throughout the season for the players, but for the coaching staff that you have had, we've seen a lot of different guys get off the bench and be able to be vocal. How important for you has been leaning into empowerment, but also delegation in those roles?
Yeah, it's a good point. Like I lean on those guys a lot. And they have I think I said 10 words in practice today. Really, we had all our stations set up. Now we did a 2-hour meeting talking about what we're going to teach and what, and then it's like sometimes I feel like I'm not doing anything out there. But that's how much I trust them. Same thing in game. You know, we delegate responsibilities, and then it's I kind of let them go and trust them. And I want that. I want and need that input. Quite honestly, right? Takes a village, and I'm keep leaning on them.